Reet. Had your gobs. Public service announcement from Fatster's economy lad. All the crap coming is Reet. But didn't ask when war slugs and Dan or a couple of doylums that can't use the netty proper, let alone find their arse from their elbow. So gan canny. All the pictures taxed them from all hour. So cheers to all the hinnies who hide them out there. So all canny here over the dirt. So if you didn't like it, like me granny used to say, it's nice to be nice. If you can't be nice, fuck off. Didn't let the bairns listen to this unless you want them to go and proper rage and mental. Reet man, pet man. This is one of them D as I say, not as I D moments. If ye want to copy us, didn't come running to us after with a broken leg. Cheers, bairns, gan canny.
All right.
Here we
Ready?
are. It's another episode. 20. I haven't got enough fingers to count 26. 26.
Oh, yeah, I'm Cornish, you know.
I'm Dan Watson.
I'm Paul Sloggett. Welcome to the Dirt.
Ladies and gents, this week we've got a fantastic episode in the name of Aiden Beamish. He's been successful on the UK scene for quite a while. He's got a few stories to tell. He's quite a unique mountain boarder from the little that I know about him, and I'm looking forward to getting to know a little bit more, and I hope you are too. We're going to bring him in right now, and whilst I wrestle with the computer on that, and hopefully he's coming in, Slogs can do a little dance. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, Aiden Beamish. Welcome to the Dirt, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
More than welcome.
Thank you very much for agreeing to give up a bit of your time to a couple of douchebags.
Oh, mate, we're all douchebags, aren't we? That's the point.
I think that's what makes us mountain boarders.
There we go.
That's it. I was just in the intro there, basically saying although I know you to speak to at the competitions. I don't know much about your backstory, and there are a few bits to your story that are quite unique to yourself, that not many other mountain boarders do get into, whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in due course. Slog it, buddy. Is there anything you wanted to intro at all to Aiden?
Oh, honestly, how's your wrist going? More first things first.
Yeah, it's all right. It's getting there. It's what am I, like 7-8 months on now. I've still got detached tendon and ligament issues, but yeah, getting there slowly. But I'm off board for the year, which is a bit of a bummer. But I'm just looking at it as getting better for next year and then coming back big.
Are you both wonky wrist buddies? Are you?
Oh yeah, proper walkie wrist. Well, I don't know. You can't probably see it. I smashed the wrist into about like 8 pieces, and then got to 5 weeks on the bone recovery and the tendon detached. So that was just like another month and a half of like not being able to use my hand, and then yeah, it's just been like long recovery, slowly getting it back, and they're still doing MRIs and all sorts. So yeah, it's just. Yeah, I did a good old number on it.
A proper job.
Yeah,
I remember Sloggett nailing himself at Penshurst Off-Road Centre back in the day, and smashing his wrist up. You had this god-awful framework outside of the wrist, didn't you?
Yeah, like external scaffolding. It's still not normal.
Oh, yeah, I think yours looks worse than mine does.
Yeah, mine, I had the metal on it, the external stuff. But I only had it on for about 3 months, and I was back on it quite soon.
Fair play. That's pretty good.
To be back on it quite soon. Man, the dude was fucking in Skaterum doing the spine the week after.
Oh, no way.
Fucking had this fucking surgery to put this in.
No.
And he's holding his hand up, going over the spine.
I'm not allowed. I've been told I'm not allowed on boards now for this year. That's my my thing. I would definitely be riding, but
Is that the sensible other half? Is it?
Yeah, totally the other half. She watched it happen, and she stands in the middle of the arena and watches it all happen. And yeah, she was like, "You've got to give it a bit before you go back." So
she's got your boards under lock and key. Then is she?
I've been allowed it for the skate game because I've convinced her, and nothing can happen. That's about it.
She just lets you have it out for 2 minutes every week on a Tuesday evening.
Yeah. Just when it comes in, I'm like, "Can I have it out, please?"
Well, dude, I'm sure that wrist injury will play a part in your story as such. At some point down the line, you can tell us how that happened. But yeah, why not start at the beginning?
Superhero origin stories.
Superhero origin story. What's your name? Where'd you come from? How old are you? What got you into mountainboarding?
Right. So obviously Aiden Beamish. Who doesn't know the name? 27, originally from West Sussex, now in Northamptonshire. See, I thought about this, and this is what sort of the podcast had brought up, actually. Lots of sort of memories I hadn't thought about for a while, of like when it started, what was going on, all that sort of stuff. So I think I must have started when I was about 13, because I went to my bigger brother's birthday, and he was 16 that birthday. So I'd have been about like 12, 13. And it was hair down. Started at hair down.
Nice.
And if I remember rightly, I think it was James Chapman's dad, so that'd be Trevor Chapman, one of the old like sober lot, on a Blue Earth barbed, one with the barbed wire on it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So started on one of those at hair down. But I mean, I don't know whether I had started going to competitions with Callum, as like mum and dad used to drive us to competitions and stuff. But I wasn't allowed to compete until I was older. So I don't know when we started going to competitions as to when I started riding a board. I might have been some competition before, I don't know. I got into it because of Callum, really, because he was a decent skater and then went on like a scouts trip thing, and there was weirdly a bloke so you guys know down like Southway, like Knockhill and that, there was a shop in Worthing that had sold mountain boarders and like sponsored a couple of riders to go to competitions.
Skeleton Coast?
Might be.
Does that ring a bell?
It does ring a bell, actually. But he was there when Callum first went, and we was like hitting the jumps of hair down. I was just like, "Do you want to have a board and race?" basically. And he was like, "Okay." So I just tagged along as the little brother, really. And like mum and dad used to take the caravan to all the comps and tow us along and get us there. And yeah, I think I don't think so. I had quite a worried mum watching her two sons go off and do stuff. So I don't think I was allowed to compete until I was like older. I can't really remember.
So Callum being your brother?
Yeah, Callum Beamish.
That's right.
See, I was the younger little Beamish.
Fair enough.
Just the annoying little shit on the hill, really.
Well, while we're here and on the topic of family, we've got a question from him.
From Callum.
Have it.
All right, go on then.
Straight in.
I like this one, right? So I've had to. He's got a young'un, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just had a little baby Casper.
Little baby Casper. Yeah, he mentioned, because I think when he asked the question, he was a little bit distracted because it didn't quite read right.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
I think
the question is,
at the moment.
would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
I mean, I'm wondering how it didn't come across in the first place to make that question. But
well, I mean, I completely understood what he meant. But
yeah.
He wrote to me, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 horse-sized ducks? I was like,
yeah,
definitely the one.
You need to get some sleep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I think I'd go for 100 duck-sized horses, because you could just go full kick as much as you could.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you could stomp them, couldn't you?
Yeah, just go legs straight in. I think that's how I do it. Because I mean, a horse is a big creature.
I reckon a duck would be like a horse-sized duck would be quite hard to wrestle as well, because it's got all them feathers. Like, you wouldn't be able to get get it in a headlock or
I mean, if you've ever been nipped by a bird, they've got a good old peck on them.
Yeah, like a goose or a swan.
Yeah,
and then
totally.
times that by another 10.
Yeah, they hurt.
You're going to smash your face in.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'd definitely go for 100 duck-sized horses. All the way around as Callum asked.
There you go. That's your first question from Callum, the elder Beamish.
Yeah, some say the better, but I don't believe them.
So Callum's not riding anymore?
He does bits and bobs. So I think he had something with his knee, basically, that if he just touched it, it'd just be really painful. So he stopped most sports. But he stopped for a while, but sort of picked it up every now and again. And I did have a session with him at Matt's Airbag not that long ago, which was quite cool. But yeah, I think he's dad, work dad. I think he went to one of the champs before COVID.
Right.
So he's getting back into it, but then I think COVID happened, and now he's got a kid. So we'll see. I think
You were saying like you're the better Beamish, like the younger one, but you'll find that in all mountain board sibling rivalries, the younger one's always
this is where I'm going. This is what I'm going with it.
The sibling out of any of them that's better.
The older one shows how it can be done, and then the younger one shows how it should be done.
I know a couple of elder brothers that are just sitting there spewing. Right? Me included. I'm the elder brother.
I mean, it's brotherly love. You've got to give it, take it.
That's it. Of course, yeah. What goes round comes round, eh? The beatings soon come back.
Oh, exactly. Especially when you become the bigger younger brother.
Well, so I'm 5'11" on a good day, right?
In the morning.
My younger brother now is 6'5".
He's a beast, isn't he?
That's a big difference.
Yeah, he is a big boy.
Yeah, fair play.
But yeah.
And he's the nicest Watson. He's a decent lad as well.
He's not a Watson.
No, not a Watson, but he's a decent sibling. He's a better one out of the pair of them.
See? That's the thing.
Yeah. He's my favourite.
But unfortunately, my brother don't like slogs, so that's why they never hang out.
Well, there's the problem there.
So you guys started going along to Hair Down and doing bits there.
Yeah, so we started riding. We rode with Team Sober, which is one of the old school teams that I don't think many people really remember, to be fair, because it was sort of just Hair Down, and they don't think it lasted that long.
Black hoodie, red graphic on the back.
That's the one. And I think it was South something Board Association. And it was a guy on a board in like a sort of half moon, red half moon. And they used to do like Orange Wednesdays used to do. It's like all the other people you've spoken to in the sort of my age had that little sort of, you go on a Wednesday with a board and it's only £5 and you get all evening and stuff like that. So we used to do that for a while.
So how close was Hair Down to where you grew up?
So I grew up in Stenning, which is sort of just a little village near Brighton. And that was probably about an hour and a bit, I would say, to drive there. So fair play to Mum and Dad always driving us over there. And then I remember going a couple of times when Callum got a car. And then I think that's when he sort of moved to uni. And then I had to sort of make my own way. But yeah, you used to spend so long down there with like Joe Leonard, Adam Kirk, Tom Sharp. I say rest in peace, Joe Leonard, actually. Yeah, just like, I think GCSE year, spent like my entire study leave just living at Hair Down. Just literally didn't study at all, just like got my parents to drop me off with a tent and a board and then lived there for like 2 weeks with them lot.
I got to say that's a good centre to be a youth at, because fast as fook on the border cross, big jump up there from my vague recollections.
Yeah, and they got bigger right near the end as well.
Yeah, it's a good apprenticeship.
Well, yeah, see,
you learn quickly or you fucking fall off, don't you?
well, it was a bit of a shame actually, because I started out border cross wise, which isn't a shame because that track was wicked. But I never really touched freestyle because I wasn't allowed to do jumps. Like my mum was so strict with it. It was like Callum smashed himself up so many times. She was like, "You're not doing freestyle, not until you're old enough." So border cross was fine, which I find bizarre. But yeah, freestyle was off the cards. Like I remember my brother pulling me into like his room, and he'd been to XVP, I think, and he'd learned to backflip. And it was this thing of like, "Oh, don't tell mum. Come look at this, don't tell mum." And it's this like tiny little backflip. And I remember that like really vividly being like, "Oh my God." And yeah, so it was a proper sort of sneak around if I did hit the freestyle. And then yeah, didn't really do freestyle until I left Ride It All for Head. I'm really shut, to be fair. So I didn't get to enjoy it as much. I think I flipped it once. But yeah, wicked border cross.
Yeah, hell of a good one that one was.
Very it took many names, to be fair.
But and you know you've spent, obviously you're still in the southeast.
No, so I'm Northamptonshire now.
You're Northamptonshire now.
Yeah,
because you spent, you know, looking through some of the media and stuff, you've spent a bit of time with Roger and that down at Knockhill.
Oh, yeah, a lot of time with Roger.
Maybe I'm jumping ahead a bit here.
No, so it sort of is. It's like, so yeah, so basically I wanted to learn to backflip as we all do as kids seeing mountainboarders.
Do a backflip.
Yeah, totally. And like at Hair Down, I remember they used to have Tom Kirkman used to come down quite often and do like
the ATC workshops.
There's an amazing photo of him doing a Cork 5, I think, in the sunset, and he's pretty much in the sun. And I've always got that image. I think I've still got it on my computer, like just the perfect image of mountainboarding. So yeah, after that, I was like, well, I've got to learn to backflip. And obviously, I think Callum had gone to Knockhill a couple of times, and that's where he'd learn in the foam pit to flip. So I was like, right, I've got to get myself over there. Went over there with a couple of the lads from Hair Down, and yeah, spent the whole day just in the foam pit throwing flips.
And what age were you? I'm just wondering at what time were you legally allowed to do freestyle?
I don't think I was allowed at that point. I know. So I don't think I was allowed.
Mother Beamish, if you're watching, he wouldn't have had any peer pressure. It would have been all down to himself.
Oh, totally. No, it was as well. I wanted it really bad. I think I was probably about 15, 16, because I think it was when once I came out of the like juniors category in the competitions, they were sort of like, well, then you're old enough and you can sort of decide for yourself what you want to do. Yeah. So it must have been about 15, 16. And then Hair Down closed around that time as well. And luckily, obviously, I'd been over to Knockhill and thought this place is awesome. And just ended up, I think started driving at 17. So yeah, from sort of, must have been 17 to when I went to uni, pretty much spent every weekend at Knockhill.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, sorry, carry on.
No, it's your story. You carry on.
No, I was going to ask you. I was saying it's weird because I know you guys and Rog know each other really well. And I think, did you put the bumblebees in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so in last week's episode,
exactly.
Yeah, obviously we knew Rog through Ride the Hill and XPP when he was there, and subsequently Knockhill. But around that time was when I was out of the country, when he was really getting going with that.
Yeah, I think Knockhill had been up running for 2 seasons before I moved back down to Cornwall. Sort of left the scene. Got married, had kids, and sort of left the scene. Well, sort of dabbled, still riding a bit, but
probably more locally than going anywhere.
Were you? So now you're saying you were coming up in the age categories.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you were competing then at the
so
and stuff.
Yeah, I used to do border cross. I was allowed to do border cross. but I wasn't allowed to freestyle until later on. I think my parents came once. My mum stayed in the caravan. She wasn't coming out. The dad came on the hill. My mum didn't want to
Oh, bless her.
didn't want to watch it happening, basically.
And how did you fare on those?
I was all right. I was never that good at racing, really. I just quite enjoyed going down a track, but I didn't like having 3 other people on the track with me. So I was sort of quite happily sit at the pack and poodle down, and if somebody fell and I overtook them, I didn't mind too much. But yeah, and then moved right into freestyle. So I rode for hair down and border cross just because I was sort of part of Team Sabre and stuff like that. And then when I moved to Knock Hill, obviously they didn't have a border cross, so it was like complete other end. You've just gone from hair down. It's like one of the longest tracks in the UK.
To not even 50 meters worth of hill.
No, exactly. And it's amazing. It's just so many cutbacks. And then completely the opposite end of no hill and no border cross, and just making do with the crazy stuff that came out of Roger's brain.
Yeah. Fantastic, wasn't it, down there?
Just a playground. It was so fun. That's something I don't think has ever been. I think Hales had a good jib park, but the whole of Knock Hill was a jib park. That was sort of the difference. And I remember going there the first time and just having my brain blown watching Gary Crowhurst and Rog ride in there. It was wicked. So spent like 3 years solidly living there, like, because Roger lived near me. So I'd like pick him up and then drive him there for the week and just stay with him for like a week, and he'd stay in his cabin, I'd sleep in my car, and then just ride like every day. Like, you were talking about the golden hour, and it's such a thing.
Yeah.
Good times, very good times.
Incredible.
I very much miss that place.
I bet. I hope to God that someday that the scene grows again to be able to support a few more centres.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, regularly, stay open.
And it is weird, to be fair, because I kind of came out of mountainboarding a little bit just from being busy with other stuff. And it's recently I've probably seen more mountainboarding, like media and sort of stuff going on in the mountainboarding world than I have for ages, but yet it's got the least amount of parks than it ever has. It's a really weird sort of change in sort of how it's being seen externally, I think.
Yeah, it is a strange one. We've touched on before. I'd love the scene to grow larger and larger, but at the same token, it then becomes, if it ever were to become as big as something as, say, skateboarding or snowboarding, it would lose that personal community that we have now with the world.
Well, yeah, I mean,
or inevitably there would be some watering down of the community, wouldn't it?
Well, there's going to be. I mean, you can see it even in people talking about their sort of original stories of like there was all these little different teams, and that wasn't big then, but there's so many little individual stories and like riders that I've never heard of that sort of come in and out of it, that if it got even bigger than that, that there's a lot that would get lost just by having so many people in the sport. But you definitely gain as you lose, I suppose.
Yeah, well, as with anything in life, whatever you gain in one area, you lose in another. So you're now of age.
Now allowed.
You're now legally allowed to.
Except for this year.
You've been practicing with Rog down at Knock Hill for a couple of years, moving up into the seniors there.
Yeah, so I did quite well.
But hold up, you did university. Now, although that's not directly mountain board related, I'm assuming that you were still mountain boarding whilst at university.
Well, weirdly, it's a bit related, because I went from hair down Knock Hill, sort of went to Knock Hill and started competing in the freestyles, did really well. And I don't know whether I did some European stuff at the same time as being there, but got sort of involved with Tramper a bit and Sam and stuff like that, and then moved to Hereford for uni. Mm-hmm. To do blacksmithing, and obviously weirdly Hereford turns out to be one of the other places in the country that had a mountainboard centre. So then spent the next 3 years riding at Court Farm.
Yeah, smashing shit out of metal all day and grinding metal all evening.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So just sort of moved around the country in different mountains.
Did you choose your uni for its proximity to a centre.
Yeah, you know, but I'm going to even answer that for him now. He's looking through that prospectus and he's going, right, I'm going to study blacksmithing. Where does blacksmithing? Hereford, Edinburgh. Now, I like mountainboarding. Out to Grass is near Herefordshire. Oxboarding's near Herefordshire. Bloody Court Farm's near Herefordshire.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a little decision going on there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, so there's not a lot of places that do blacksmithing as a degree. But yeah, I totally said yes to that one when I noticed where it was. And yeah, it's just a big old added extra. And there's a wicked skate park at Hereford as well. If anyone who lives in Hereford knows, it's a pretty decent skate park. So I rode there a lot as well. But yeah,
So
moved all
what
around.
year were you at uni then? What years?
Oh God, now that's asking something. How old am I now? 27. Went to uni at 19. So what's that? 8 years ago. What are we on now? So 2014 maybe.
So who were the local riders still at Court Farm then? Who was
So you had
places?
Raf was still running the hill, I think. Yeah, Raf was definitely still running the hill. You'd have James. I'm not sure if Ben had moved down south at that point. So James Wanklin was there quite a lot. Tommy D. So Tommy D. Who else? I think I rode with Lisa a couple of times. Sort of hit the freestyle. I think who else? It was weird because as a centre, you didn't see too many people other than on like weekends. And with what I was doing at uni and other things like that, I didn't particularly go that often on the weekends. I sort of went on week evenings, and just sort of wanted to keep riding the board and stuff like that. I think I rode with Connor Smout a few times as well. To be fair, that's one of the people who's always up for a board. If you give Connor Smout a ring, he'll always just say yeah and work out when he can get there.
Like a motivated individual.
Oh yeah, totally. Big
Smout's
up.
a good lad. Smout is
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
lad.
Time for him.
Well, I mean, you mentioned him there, but I don't know that I'm going to bring Tommy D's questions in yet, because I think that there's going to be stuff that we're going to get out of you later that's more relevant to some of the questions.
Fair enough.
Again, you mentioned James Wanklin. We've got a question from him. But again, we'll come back to that later. In fact, no, let's do Tommy D's now.
I mean, there's a long lead on this. You're getting me interested.
Yeah, let's do Tommy D.
Okay.
So he has given us 4 questions.
4, quoi.
Yeah,
he's gone for it.
Yeah, telling me. It's good. I like it. It means less work we have to do then, really, isn't it? No more preparation. So he's got the first 2 are kind of related, I think. So his first question is, do you bleed more than land?
I think I might. I think I might. Yeah, probably. I think that might be leading to my nickname.
Well, possibly. Shall I give you the next question?
I mean, I wonder what the next question might be.
How did you get the name Bleedish?
Okay. Yeah, so that was a really fun weekend in the Belgium Open, where it's got to be
the Belgium Open. Or where you placed there? Did you not?
Yeah, I got 6th at the Belgium Open, I think.
Where was that year?
That was
Please say Belgium.
This is Woody Park. I have a thing of repeating something sometimes. I'm sorry, it happens. It's usually in a rule of 3, and my mates have all noted it now. So now everybody in the world knows about it. So great. It happens continuously, and I can't help it. So apologies. But yeah, so went with Sam Nicholas, James Wanklin, me, Rachel LaRoche, and Poppy all crammed into his Mazda. I think Matt and a couple of other people came over, and we all went over to Waddy Park for the Open. And then, yeah, so I misplaced my elbow pads and essentially just stripped both of my elbows and then split my knee as well, trying a double. And just ended up getting nicknamed Bleedish because I just seem to end up bleeding every time I ride.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first attempt at a double backflip, to be fair. Hadn't tried it in a foam or anything, just watched Arno and Matt sending it and just thought, yeah, looks like a good crack.
Straight to dirt.
Yeah, straight to dirt. Well, slight resi. They had like a plastic resi on the back of the lip or the back of the landing. And yeah, that's where hashtag why didn't he tuck come into play as well.
Well, talking of why didn't he tuck?
Oh, there we go.
We've got a few questions in regarding this one.
Oh, here we go.
Tom D, why no tuck? Hold up, where are we going here? Let's have a look. Here we go. Got a few videos on this as well.
Sounds like there might be a list of these.
Does it really sound like that? Here we go. Let's.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Got some questions for you, Bleedish. 2 of them. Number 1, why didn't he tuck? Why didn't he tuck? And number 2, we're off to France, mate. You got your passport?
Oh, when? if it's this year, I might cry. Oh.
So and hold up. So we've got to remember that James had 2 questions there.
Yeah.
Who else we got here that's going to be asked in this one? Oh yeah, let's have this one up. That one is here, and this one. Scroll back a bit. He's come through a couple of days ago. Are you ready for this one? This one comes in from Sam Nicholas.
Hi there. My question for Aiden Beamish is, why didn't he tuck?
Nobody knows.
Hi there.
I love
My
it.
question for Aiden Beamish
Just leave
is,
it going again.
why didn't he tuck?
I think
Why?
I need that video. I think I really need that video.
Let me just double check. Anybody else? Oh, now I can't remember if I've got a couple here from Ash Mulholland, and I can't remember if one of
here we
it
go.
is. We'll when we get to Ash later on, we'll do them all.
All right,
You might
we'll
all
do
get
them.
asked the same question again.
I mean, I don't mind. It's been a running gag. Yeah, so that was. I watched Arno. So at Wally Park, we had a couple of rollers, and then you had a big lip into the landing. But on the side of it, you had like a 2 foot longer, skinny, just sort of booter of a jump. And we've been flipping it all weekend, and we've just been going up and down doing laps, probably throwing some of the biggest flips I've done before, and just doing the competition, the open, and Matt and Arno threw maybe 4 each, and we're getting really close. Didn't smash themselves up at all, and I was like, I've got so much air time with a flip that I'm being so slow. I mean, why not give it a go? Just went for it, and there was a lot of throw and no tuck. So yeah, that became a meme because there was a couple of photos of me looking like a diver in the Olympics with those freeze frames. Yeah, that was a hashtag. So I wonder whether I might have been one of the first mountainboarding memes. I'm not sure.
Well, let's not get started on mountainboarding.
I mean, I want them back too.
Yeah, well, please be to whoever's up there doing those, bring them back. Because there was a big craze after one of the Serbia event, wasn't there? There's some great ones come out of that, but
it almost told stories. The thing is, the meme almost told specific stories as well. You didn't need to be there, but you knew exactly what happened.
So talking of exactly what happened, James Wanklin's other question then, wasn't it? They're all going to France.
Yeah.
Have you got your passport?
Probably. I mean, I'm up for it. I wouldn't say no.
If you were all in a foreign country and you had to go shopping, but it involved crossing the border, would you have your passport then?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I didn't lose a passport.
That's it's nice. Strictly
It does.
speaking,
It does make me wonder if I've forgotten something, but I don't think I lost a passport. I'm surprised James didn't talk about eggs in any way.
Well, that was actually his
question.
next bit, but he didn't record that bit. So tell us the eggs.
So that was the Belgium Open as well. Somebody bought an absurd amount of eggs, and I can't remember who it was. Somebody just bought the most ridiculous amount of eggs. I think they were just really cheap. And for the rest of the weekend, every other word was an egg pun, but it got really detailed. It got really deep into the egg world.
Oh man, the last thing, one egg joke is enough. I'm telling you.
Oh no, this was the whole weekend. From the first day we went shopping. So yeah, it was good.
Well, I think that was due,
but yeah,
partially
France,
due to that
yes.
story. Was apparently you and him and Sam were in were due to be going shopping, and it involved crossing the border, and apparently you didn't have your passport at that Belgium trip.
Did I not?
They said they was going to drop. They said they was going to drop you off and leave you at the border whilst they went shopping.
I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised, to be fair. It's the sort of thing that I would do, but it happens so often that I can't remember all of them.
Fair enough. And Tom D's final question. I struggle with this one a little bit because I feel like I'm vocalizing. Remember, I'm vocalizing.
You're giving this man a voice.
Half of someone else.
Okay, all right.
And I why are you such a dick?
That is the never-ending question. I really don't know. I think I was just born this way, you see.
Cute Lady Gaga.
Yeah, get some. I mean, yeah, I can't say much more than that, really. He's not wrong.
Well, we've razzed through a load of readers or community questions there because they're all the same question. Why not fuck?
Yeah, see, I learned from that. I definitely learned from that. I have finally stuck the double, to be fair. So yeah, I did finally learn how to tuck, but it took a long time.
I remember being about 12 years old and watching The Crying Game, and I realised how to tuck then. But it's a very different sort of tuck.
See, I know where you're going with this, but I don't actually know exactly what you're talking about because I don't know The Crying Game.
That's a reference probably way years older than you. Years older than
the beard adds years.
We won't go down that road. It'll get us in trouble. It'll get us in trouble. I probably should. I've said enough.
I can't see that now. You've reminded me of that.
Is this some homework I need to do?
You'll be all right without it. To be fair,
I'm okay to miss it. That's fine.
It's not as must see as like Blue Waffle or Lemon Party. That's
okay. Right. So now I'm on your level now. Okay. Cool.
Christ, we've descended to the depths there. I am definitely not going to be putting up photos on screen in the YouTube edit.
I mean, you asked me to send you images.
We don't need more sexual images. We've got me and Slogs on the screen every week.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you pulled out a sixth at the Belgium Open.
Yeah.
You didn't tuck. You didn't get the double then.
No.
But
Is there footage of this non-tucking malarkey?
Yeah, there is actually.
Cool, you have to send that to us, just for our amusement.
Yeah, at the end of one of my edits, I used to do quite a few videos and stuff. At the end of one of my edits is me, I think it's Summer Shapes one. There's me trying the double, and you can just see I just go straight to my front truck. It's good. I think it was filmed by Mangus, if I can remember rightly.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll have to send that one over as soon as we get off this call.
It's all right. Well, I'll be sitting watching your board slide at the same time. It's fine. I did enjoy that.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that has just given me the opportunity to insert it right here, right now.
There we go. Please.
If only every guest could bring it up at least once an episode.
Maybe that should be a rule to come on to the episode.
We've got loads of them. We've got a back catalogue to choose.
I get to see more than one. Oh, this is great.
Oh, it's my trademark. It's my trademark go-to.
Oh, crikey. So continue on. I'm assuming by this point, if you're doing a couple of Europeans and doing that, did you win the seniors at one point?
Yeah, I think I won the seniors overall, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. I looked on the ATB stuff to work out what sort of positions I got, and I don't think it's got the year that I won the overall, but it's got, I think it's 2017, I think I won the overall freestyle, and then moved into pro the year after. Did all right.
Well done.
Didn't get any placings, but I thought I should play ball and go up.
That's it. Well done for making that leap.
Yeah. And then took a big leap back down last year. So I came back down to seniors. No. Just because Sonny looked like he was really lonely. And he just looked like this little elf on the hill, just on his own. So I thought I'd come down and I would just lower my standards a bit and race with Sonny all weekend. But no, it was wicked. Sonny was really good fun that weekend, to be fair.
Makes a fucking change, the miserable cunt.
I think he just used all of his aggression towards you. I think that's what it is. He let it all out at you.
We feed off it. I absolutely feed off it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's brilliant. That's one of the best things with Sonny is you can say anything. You can have a proper crack at him and he's just come straight back at you and then laugh at you as she rolls down the hill.
That's the way. I think it's a pretty common theme throughout the entirety of mountainboarding. To be genuine, it doesn't seem to matter country of residence or nationality makes no difference. Language seems to make no difference.
If you ever travel with mountainboarding and you meet other mountainboarders, it's everybody is the same. You walk into a mountainboarding centre and you're going to get some abuse held at you, and then have one of the best nights you've ever had.
It's a mentality.
It really is.
And you've been competing ever since, have you? Have you taken a sabbatical? Like how
yeah, so
talk us through your adult mountainboarding life.
So I sort of fell out of mountainboarding a little bit, just generally. I think I did it from being really young and sort of knowing everybody, and just sort of fell out of love with it a little bit on the competition scene. And at the same sort of time, because I think it had gone down to maybe one competition a year already at that point, and I wanted to compete a bit more. And at the same time, I got asked about horseboarding. So I sort of leant towards that a little bit more, just because it was, I think, like a 9 competition season.
Right. So let me just cut you off there, because I've heard of horseboarding.
It's a brave word to say over a mountainboarding podcast.
Well, we can say Eben on here.
Well, I did say this.
Exactly.
I'm still riding a mountainboard. That's
exactly. It's all riding. I'll back us up on that front. But I mean, fair play to you, because you wouldn't fucking catch me doing it. That's
fucking anywhere near a fucking horse.
Yeah.
They're fucking massive. They got teeth and they got their own fucking brain, and they're quite goofy.
They are quite hoofy, yeah, and they have studs in as well. The hooves that, big metal studs, probably about that big.
Fuck no. The problem is they've got their own fucking mind.
They do. If
I'm riding a mountain board, I'm the only fucking idiot that can think on that thing. But with horseboarding, you seem to have 3 fucking brains in it. You got the fucking horse, the rider on the horse, and your fucking self. So fuck that. That's 3 times more likely to fucking fail.
Yeah. It's a real team sport.
Right. So tell us what horseboarding is like.
I mean, you basically, to be fair, you basically described it. They have a big competition year, and I came into it, and the UK's had gone down to 1, and basically some people turned up at Knock Hill, just being like, "Who's nuts enough to go behind a horse?" And Roger just went, "That one over there," and pointed at me. And yeah, so they had a friend, I think, of their team that didn't have a boarder, and they wanted someone to board for a competition. It was near where I was at uni, so I just thought, why not give it a go?
9 competitions.
Yeah. And it got up to 11 at one point.
How many people are doing this?
It got big. It's still quite big. I mean, so this is the thing that I think horseboarding's got a bit of a weird sort of view from the mountain board world, which I had when I started, because it's progressively changed as a sport. So before I started, it was a drag. So you'd have 2 horses, 2 riders, 2 boarders, and they'd just run with each other flat out in a line. And it was when they really first started, they didn't really know much about boards. It wasn't really about the board sport. It was just sort of a bit of fun. And you weren't allowed channel trucks. So you were only allowed to ride skate trucks, and you weren't allowed heel straps. So that was some of the rules. Oh no, well, weirdly it's not. It was a British sport, but it was
no foot diapers, guys.
Yeah. So I think it was inspired by some of that sort of stuff. And then when I got into it, they'd started doing a slalom. So you have, obviously, as Paul just said, you've got a rider on the horse, you've got a horse, and you've got a board rider that's attached by a rope to the saddle, and you hold onto the rope. It's basically wakeboarding. It depends on what you want your rope length to be, really.
So is there a minimum and a max though?
I think there's a minimum. I think there's a minimum, and I could not tell you
that close to the fucking horse's arm.
Pretty much, no shorter than the horse's leg. And then I think there's a maximum length as well. I've got quite a short rope, to be fair, but it's all. I think we measured them. I think it's like 1.5 meters to 1.9 meters. I think. No, it's got to be a bit more than that. I think it might be. Towards 2 meters or something like that.
To get me to do it, I'd want to be.
Is it like a wakeboard handle then?
Yeah. So it's just wakeboarding behind a horse. So you don't have to climb up any hills. So it's
Shetland. If you get me a Shetland pony and like a 5 meter length rope, maybe I'd have a little trot.
Honestly, so weirdly, because I worked at Tramp for a while, and when they first started doing the electric boards, I was there, and they've changed a lot now from when they started. So I had a play on mats at his compound and was going around their sort of reservoir bit, and it's the same balance point as an electric mountain board.
Right.
So when you guys are macking a corner, like on a hillside, and your foot's on the back truck, leaning off the back edge, that's exactly the same position you'd be on horseboarding, but just with a rope holding you up rather than the push from the board. Yeah. So going around on an electric board, I was like, I'm horseboarding, but without the rope. So it was quite interesting in that it's a different balance point. So we've had a few mountain boarders come in. I came in cocksure, like, I'm going to smash it, and got knocked out first time.
What?
I got knocked out. It was good. So the first competition I went to was an absolute mud bath. Like, you couldn't have ridden anything through it, and they were just trying to pull us through it like a plow, basically. Just caught on edge and just smacked my head, and then didn't know that I'd been in the heat, and then drove home, and thought, that seemed like a good laugh, I'll carry on doing that. So they had a big season, and if it's like you gain points throughout a season for the overall at the end, and so it always coincided. One of the competitions would coincide with the mountain board one, so it was a case of you raise a whole season, take a competition out to go mountain boarding competition, and lose the entire season that you've raced for.
Overall.
Exactly. So for a few years, probably about 6 years, I sort of only mountain boarded for fun with myself, just sort of moved up this way and hit Adrenaline Alley quite a lot. Just parks mainly, because it's pretty crap down here up here for boarding, really. So parks were the main thing. And then rode last year, 2021 UK champs, I think. So that's first time in like 6 years, which is cool.
Oh, it was nice to see you back on the hill there, that's for sure.
It was lovely to be back on the hill, to be fair. It was nice to race again. That was one of the biggest things, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get that feeling of buzz at the top of the start gate before other mountainboarders like just geeing each other up. But, yeah. So horseboarding.
It's a shame we're down to the one event a year, but
yeah, it totally is.
Isn't it?
It totally is. I mean, it's a shame we're down to the one centre as well, but it's, as I say, it does seem to be, only from my perspective, picking up again. I would say I've seen a lot of people picking up boards that I hadn't heard anything from for years.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Well, I think at very least Bugs seems to be I hope that Bugs is doing well at the moment. You know, people seem to be.
They look like
I see a lot of media coming out of there at the moment from the weekend. So you know, if people are supporting that place, then that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'm loving seeing it.
Yeah, I swung by a few Saturdays ago on the way up to Cardiff, and it was buzzing there. Like loads of bikers, loads of own boarders. They had like a lot of lessons going out. It was really nice to see. It put a smile on my face. You walked through, the car park was full. It was really good. Awesome. Like there was an excitement there, like a buzz.
That's cool. That's cool to hear, to be fair, because I haven't seen that for a while. I don't think I've seen a place like that from like other than Knockhill and Hare Down, like back in the day when you'd see parties of people going to places.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
There'll be a party will have just happened when this goes out at Bugs, won't there? A big Mount Fest, Simon.
Oh, is that this weekend?
Yeah, I've been in the loft.
We'll have just everybody's been waking up, hopefully, to this episode.
I'm so excited by it. I've been up in the loft to get all the camping gear down already. It's still fucking 4 days away. I went up there about half hour before this started.
Wicked.
I've done all the camping equipment off.
Have you ticked your list?
Oh, I've got a wife to do that. Yeah, event coordinator.
Nice.
I'm gutted. I'm not going to be there this year.
But, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it either.
You going to go to the champs, though?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to come to the champs just for the crack, really, because I just enjoyed last time so much. I'm just going to bring my camera and sort of just maybe make a video or take some cool pictures and stuff and just have a good time. Because it's just nice to see a lot of old faces.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see you put out a video again. Like I say, you have put out a few videos over the years, so you obviously somewhat enjoy that process.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that stops, to be honest. I think I got a little bit jaded with computers, in all honesty, like doing half an edit and it just dying.
Yeah.
And just losing stuff. Yeah, I think my GoPro died at one point. I just sort of fell out of touch with it. I do some of the horseboarding edits and stuff like that sometimes for their end of season stuff and all of that. But yeah.
So have you won anything with the horseboarding? Have you like made amends for your first outing, knocking yourself out in the first race?
I think I could probably say I have. Yeah. So I've been racing probably 7 years now consistently. Got second in the novice. They're similar. They've got novice, intermediates, elites as like their categories. So when I first came in, got second in the novice, I think, and then I can't remember where I got later on. And then I started with a newer team called Pocket Rocket, who is my current team, and started racing for the top basically with me and so there's Ross Towner and Charlie Buss, who are sort of my key competitors. Let's say best mates, but also best racers on the course. So I've had a couple of seconds overall. I've got a world record, a Guinness World Record.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's that in?
So that is furthest distance jumped while being tied behind a horse.
No, wait. And how far was that?
30 foot 8 inches. So it's just over a double-decker bus.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we've got a question with regards to that, actually.
Ah, cool.
And that comes in from another Beamish who you've not mentioned.
That'd be my father.
A Liam Beamish?
Daddy Beamish, yeah.
Is Liam his dad, is it?
Liam is dad.
Nice.
Yeah. Dad. Dad was the biggest fan. Dad was the one who'd come down and watch still. Mum would be in the caravan and Dad would be sitting there cheering on. He's come to a few of the shows and you can actually hear him in videos shouting as he goes around the course. Even now at like 27, Dad will turn up and he'll just be going for it around the arena. So yeah, big up Liam.
Brilliant. Proper football dad.
Yeah,
totally. Horseboarding dad.
Yeah, extreme sport football dad, but yeah, in the best ways, definitely.
Well, his question. Thank you very much, Liam. By the way, Papa Beamish asked.
Papa Beamish.
How did it feel to break the world record?
I mean, it felt pretty good because I also just beat Sam's world record.
Sam Nicholas.
Yeah. So
was Sam a horseboarder?
So that's a weird one. So Sam did a bit of horseboarding before I started horseboarding, sort of when it was between the slalom and drag, when they just started doing the slalom. So it's still quite slow. So Sam didn't really go that fast, did he? Every time you see him, he's like, "Yeah, I've done it, mate. It was all right. Smashed it. Won them all." It's like, yeah, fair enough, you did. But yeah, come race now. It'd be great. But yeah, so he came down and it was for like a CBBS thing. So it was on CBBS. I think it was like Richard Hammond's bunker thing. I don't really know. But yeah, we did a jump and he went before me, set the records, and then I beat his. So got the newer record apparently because his stood because he'd set it, and then about sort of a minute later I beat it.
Oh no!
How big was the kicker you were going off?
Probably like a 2-3 foot kicker. It was more long than big.
What?
Me and Rod built it.
Like a fucking max track kicker, like a.
It wasn't like it was.
Well, that's 2 foot, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd say probably 2-3 foot. We were going 25 mile an hour into it, 26 mile an hour into that one that I got. And yeah, it just popped right. And it was quite a long. So me and Roger made it the night before, so nobody even hit the ramp. And then they said you'll get like 2 practice runs, and then you get 3 attempts.
Right. So was it like a flat wedge?
It was a flat ledge with a bit
wedge
of a curve, basically. So it was more of it was made for sending you rather than going up, like sending you forwards. But yeah, so just got a good pop on the last one and stuck it. So yeah,
that's a fair distance of that smaller kicker.
Yeah. I mean, if you're being towed, to be fair, so the horse was traveling about 26, and then obviously, well, I say obviously, I gave it a bit of a tug as you go in, just to give you a bit more.
The horse.
Yeah, tug on the rope.
Oh, sorry.
Just tugged it off just to get it a bit quicker, you know. Sam doesn't know these little secrets about horses.
Just get it right up to the bit.
Yeah.
Oh no! Look, now I'm really conscious that we've got Mama and Papa Beamish watching this at some point, and we're talking about tossing horses. And
you are, Dan. No one else is.
I don't think that.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I can look my camera in the eye anymore.
Oh dear, yeah. So
that is impressive, though.
Yeah, so it's cool. I've done quite a few things with it actually, because so we did a European Championship. That's cool. Took a load of horses out to Holland, raced in Holland. We've been out to Denmark twice, Germany, and then so I now get flown out sometimes to teach the Dutch riders, the Dutch horseboarders. So I just get flown out with my board.
I didn't realise this was such a big scene.
Yeah, this is absolutely mind-blowing for me.
Nobody knows this. This is what I mean, because it's.
Well, why aren't they riding without the horse?
Well, if you think about Holland, it's not like a mecca of mountainboarding because it's pretty flat. Which is why I think it goes quite well there. You go around there and it is like a mecca for horseboarding. Like every field is like perfect, and they've all got horses, so it just sort of works.
Are you riding the same mountain board that you ride down there?
Yeah, straight up same board.
8-inch wheels, no change.
Yeah, no difference.
And what are they all riding?
Mountain boards. Yeah. So when I started, people were on. So they did when I started. It wasn't in Holland and stuff like that. It's been quite a quick progression of other countries picking it up, and the boards were sort of just tatty old second-hand boards. But now it's got to a point in the racing where it's like thousands of seconds, or sorry, hundreds of seconds between people's runs. So they've started to realize actually my kit makes quite a difference. So now the top riders are all riding sort of full pro decks and actually take an interest in their boards. And you've got like a mountain boarding scene without any of them ever being mountain boarders, really. It's weird, but it's all the same camaraderie in the pits. Like everyone just talks shit at each other and you just get to race all weekend. And yeah, they're just, and there's been
I'd love to, maybe you should organise a gravity day for them and bring like 10 of the UK horse boarders, like the creme de la crop as such, to Bugs, and set them down the hill and see what they make of it.
So a few of them have come with me to mountain board. A couple of them, one of them sort of converted to a mountain boarder, sort of gave up on the horses. And I've had, so Ryan Roberts, do you remember Ryan Roberts?
Name's not familiar, but I might well know.
Hang out with sort of Ryan and Alan Newman, stuff like that. He rides horseboarding now. He was a mountain boarder. So you've got me and him as sort of the mountain boarders, the rest of them sort of snowboard and stuff like that, different backgrounds. But a lot of them don't want to break themselves, which is interesting to me. But yeah, they'll go down a slope, but it's just easier being towed than walking up the hill, I think. Horseboarders are lazy because they get dragged around the whole time.
But have you got to keep the same horse for the whole season? Same horse, same rider, same.
Yeah. So your team is your three elements the whole way through. So like, I've got Pocket Rocket, my rider Sarah Crabb, and my horse Bella. That's my team throughout the whole season.
Is that your horse or is that Sarah's horse?
So that's Sarah's horse. I do actually have a horse with my partner who I met at horseboarding. She's head ref. She's head ref in the middle. So I noticed she was single and thought I'd win myself some easy points, you see. No, she rides as well, and we've got a horse that we're slowly bringing on. And we raced last year, and then I smashed my wrist, so we've sort of taken a back seat.
Sorry,
you have to train these horses differently than the ones that like would just be doing horse racing. I don't fuck all about horses. They fucking live in a field.
So I mean, pretty much any horse can horseboard, really. It's whether they take to it or not. So there's a very rare occasion a horse is like, no, I don't want to do this. Most horses are quite happy to do it because the horses that are in the top groups, when you're talking about, oh, that horse has got a brain and it wants to do what it wants to do, the horses in the elite category want to race. Like, you can watch these horses watching other teams go around as they're racing, and like the horses will get annoyed. Like, this is how horses will actually get annoyed if they don't get to finish their run because the border's fallen off. They'll be like, they're stamping their foot or something. So they get into their head, we want to do this. So they're not going to go booting you about, they're not going to go biting you. They're going to want to go, I want to fucking make you launch down this track because it's going to be great fun. But yeah, it's a case of, it's just the rope. The biggest thing is getting them used to a rope just behind them. And once they get used to that, they sort of learn, okay, this is great fun. I can just basically run really fast, which is what they're designed to do. So yeah, most horses pick it up pretty quick.
I assume far quicker than actually riding the boards.
Pardon?
They pick up actually just running far quicker than trying to ride the boards, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Different type of horseboarding.
Yeah. I mean, the question I always get when I say horseboarding is that people look at me funny and then sort of ask about waterboarding.
Well, like I say, I knew of its existence. I realised there's a few sort of like jokes about it within the community, I assume that there probably is on the other side of the coin with the horseboard.
Not too much, but yeah, there's definitely banter away.
I certainly didn't realise the numbers involved.
Yeah, so weirdly, just before lockdown, we did like our biggest show. So we went out to Denmark and went into an arena that's sort of like the NEC in London. It was a 9,000 stadium arena. And did a four-team competition / show there. Drove out there for 2 days and then just got put up and then did two
There's other
massive
stuff
shows.
going on. There'd have been dressage and fucking other
So
stuff.
that's
It's not just a horse boarding.
no.
event
So that was
9,000.
no. So that was a show that we went to do a show at, basically.
Right.
So that wasn't just for us. No, it's not
I'm
that
thinking,
big. I mean, if it's that big,
man, 9,000
big.
capacity stadium
No.
selling out on fucking horse boarding. What?
No, so we got invited to do a show sort of in an interval, basically, where we run sort of. So that's how we tend to do the competition. So we go to the Living Heritage National Shows as a sort of a show, but we run our competition within that. So we have their massive main arena that we set up in and do our competition in, basically. But then this was, I was drove out to Denmark over 2 days with horses and all the rest of it. Did a show, stayed there for a couple of days, and then drove back.
So you've looking at your life here, you've really managed to build yourself quite a strong bubble here around what you do for a living, where you live,
Riding.
how you spend your time, and how you've now even brought relationship into that. So, like you said about blacksmithing, I assume that round the pits, you're the guy. Do you make like the Air Jordans of the horseshoe world?
So here we go. So you're talking about farriery. So this is a common misconception within the world of blacksmithing. So back in the day, a blacksmith used to be a farrier. But actually nowadays you have a farrier and you have a blacksmith as a separate entity. So I don't.
You make a horseshoe.
I could if I really tried, but I wouldn't legally be allowed to put it on the horse.
Wow! Shut up! Is this mum? Is this
no?
Mum?
No, this is
Beamish. Have you told him he's not allowed to do this?
No, so I originally started training to be a farrier, and then decided I didn't want to get kicked by horses, and decided to be a blacksmith.
You started a fucking horse board.
I know, it's just the sort of stuff I do. I don't really know how it happens, but it tends to be the way it goes. So I'm as a blacksmith, basically. I make stuff like gates and iron things like that, and then sort of worked on like the screens at Hampton Court.
Ironmongery.
Yeah. So like a fancy fabricator, really. And then I'm also a jeweler as well, basically, on the side of that.
Hey, thank you for bringing you on, coming on to that, because some of the stuff that you make, my friend, is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, thank you very much.
It really is. Of long. I don't wear any jewelry. I have a wedding ring that is sat upstairs next to my bed because I catch it on stuff.
Yeah.
But fair play to you, man. The stuff that you make is absolutely incredible.
That's really nice. Yeah, actually, Jolly Tom is wearing one of my rings in his podcast, saying that in his one. So yeah, I noticed that as he was chatting. Yeah. Got a fair bit of support from the mountainboard world in that way, to be honest. They've all been pretty good.
We'll stick a link up to your jewelry website as well.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
I say we will. Dan,
get on it, Dan.
Lazy.
Send it to me, and I'll stick it. I'll stick it in the not the comments, whatever it is, the description as such. So, and if it turns into a clickable link, I don't know how YouTube works. It probably will.
I'm sure.
If it turns into you making a lot of dollar,
I'll sponsor the dirt. It's fine. If it turns into enough dollar, I'll sponsor the dirt.
Just don't ask him to make jewelry for horses because he's not legally allowed.
I'm not. It's a thing. So you've got to do like 6 years training before you're allowed to show a horse in the UK. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. So yeah, I didn't want to do 6 years. So then
you can train to be a doctor in that time.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a thing. You can essentially kill a horse through its feet, I think, if you do it really wrong. So yeah, but I for a while I was the sort of only guy that knew a lot about mountain boards in the horseboarding world, so I did end up fixing pretty much every horseboarder's board in the pits at other times.
Yeah, fixing / sabotage.
Just a little puncture here and a puncture there, just to certain people, not everybody.
Let the air out of one tire on your hillside.
Yeah. That was quite a thing at one point of just asking people if the pressure is okay in their tire as they're about to get pulled off by the horse. Just, is your tire looking a bit flat? Just bye. Right. And a really good one.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And so The wife's a ref.
Yeah, the missus is the head ref.
Does she not compete at all then anymore?
So she started competing before we ever got together, and then sort of stayed in the sport and just enjoyed it, and then became the ref. And we hooked up later on. We were friends for a while first, and then hooked up at horseboarding. And she
out of 10, did she give you one?
She what?
Out of 10, did she give you one?
None, absolutely none.
What is she called? We can't keep just calling her the other app.
The missus, Layla. Her name is Layla. Layla Gray.
Hello, Layla.
There you go.
I feel like we met all the family now.
That's what I mean. It's a family affair.
What's your mum called? We can't keep calling her mother either.
Angela Beamish, Liam, Angela, Callum, Casper, Alice, and Layla.
There you go.
There's the lot. You've all had a call out.
Meet the Beamishes.
There it is.
Yay!
Get your family fortunes.
Our survey says. Crikey, we're coming off topic. I say we're coming off topic.
I mean, it is a mountainboarding podcast. We should probably talk about mountainboarding.
Yeah, probably should. It's all mountain boarding. It's all mountain.
See, that's the way I see it. The more time on a board, the better. That's what matters to me.
It's a discipline of mountain boarding, same as electric.
Yeah,
totally.
same as airbag riding.
I mean, I do know that. I think his name is Matt Brind. Am I getting that right? Is it? I think is it
Andy Brind, but Matt.
No, so I know an Andy Brind, but I'm not sure of the name. I think it's Matt Brind. I'm not sure. So he had a go once at horseboarding.
Right.
Yeah.
Please tell me he was absolutely shit at it.
He was quite good on the slalom, but it was the last time that the drag ever got done, and I have the most wonderful image of Matt flat in the air with his board attached to his feet and a rope in his hand before he then hit the ground. So I raced against him, and in the drag you walk in together and then you have to put your board down and then sort of set and say go. And I said set and Matt hadn't set, but the horse went. So the horse went and Matt wasn't quite ready and just went from vertical to horizontal within a matter of seconds in this blue hoodie.
No.
So yeah, so that is, I do remember that. I think that's the only time Matt ever came to horseboarding. He gave it a good go.
I wish you dribbled them in where
That's what I intended. That's what I'm here for, to make Paul dribble.
Brilliant. Well, let's try and bring it back on. Let's go to one of our wonderful community questions that isn't does he tuck? What have we got left?
Is there any left after that?
We've got 3 left, all from the same person.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'll take that.
And that's coming in from Ash Mulholland.
Yeah, good lad is Ash.
He's all right, isn't he?
Is so saying that Ash is another person who's bought one of my pieces. He's there's 2 mountain boarders in the mountain boarding world who've actually bought stuff from me specifically, and Ash is probably the biggest donator to the Beamish campaign.
Nice.
Bought one of my big bowls, my light bowls. So yeah, big up Ash.
Hopefully meeting him at some point this week. He's down in he's down.
Oh yeah, I saw there was a poster that he's down your way.
But
whereabouts is he going?
He's in Truro. I was supposed to be meeting him tonight, or this afternoon at Red Roof Skate Park, for a sesh, but he got called to a job in Birmingham or something en route down here.
I was going to say that's a long old route back. Otherwise,
sorry.
I thought you said he was getting called out from near Truro to Birmingham. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah. So he's got a couple of jobs over the next couple of days down here. So hopefully tomorrow afternoon I'm going to meet him.
Footage from that.
Just it's only be half hour.
Why aren't you taking him Mount Ork instead of Droof?
Because he's working in Droof tomorrow, and I've not ridden Droof. Neither of you. It looks fucking amazing, park.
Is that skate park?
It is
Yeah.
a skate park, yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed down your way is you've got some mad parks popping up. I keep seeing pictures of these crazy bowls.
There's
Yeah.
loads of creeks that got in the last few years. Like Mavericks have hit the West Country hard.
Yeah, Maverick is down that way, isn't it? I keep seeing, because I follow them and they keep putting up some epic stuff. Like I say, when I'm back on a board, I'm coming down your way, boys.
Yeah, this I seem to be sat in the middle of, like concrete wave heaven. Within 10 miles, if I stick my house in, not even 10 mile radius, there must be like 6 proper full-on concrete parks with bowls. Wow. There's Mount Hawke skate park. There's the track at Portreath. There's another couple of like proper full-on BMX mountain bike style pump tracks, not like these little
tight corner ones.
We're talking like 10-person gate.
Oh mate,
race
that
track.
Sounds mega.
The Slogs went to go. They've got this ATV centre as well, the quad bike centre.
Oh yeah,
and we can get a ride in on there on the electrics, and that's incredible, like a flatland border cross it is.
I want an electric board so bad. So bad.
Watching
Watching you guys go up Snowdon was proper epic. I thought that was a proper epic, like, look what we can do with this thing. Look how far we can go with this thing.
They performed so well, didn't they, that day?
Yeah.
They just such a good bit of kit. It was an eye-opener what they could do.
Yeah.
It's a shame Penavan wasn't quite as, when we set out what we set out to do, but it wasn't quite as as fluid and easy. I mean, the struggle was hard on both of them, but in terms of, the boards behaved impeccably on Snowdon. They really did.
Okay.
But yeah, they're fantastic, and they're a pretty price when you're buying them, but I'm telling you, there ain't a mountain boarder out there that once they get it.
So when I worked for Trumpers, when they first started sort of producing them, and there's a video, I think, of Sam going up a board across track, and I think I was standing on the board across filming it, and I was like, that's one of the most epic things I've ever witnessed. Just like, we rode down it, turned around, rode back up it, rode down it, turned around, rode back up it. I was like, that the possibilities are endless at that point.
When I first got mine, going uphill just blew my mind, and I'd just find any hills to go up over. What are we doing here? This is mental.
It's amazing.
Oh, I've got to go bloody back down again now.
Damn it.
It's like they literally reinvented the wheel.
Oh, it really is. That's been one of the things I've always said with mountainboarding. It's amazing sport, but the one thing it's missing is propulsion. Like, you've got a skateboard, you can push yourself up a hill pretty easy if you can skate decently. Bike, whiz up a hill, not a problem. Everything else, like, you can generally get about on. But on a mountainboard,
snowboard or skis, you've got lifts.
Oh, there's always lifts there, isn't it? There's like, with the massive mountains that they're riding down. So, yeah. One day, I've got a tramper deck. I just need to. The electrics go straight over my head, so I'm gonna have to speak to.
They go straight over my head.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
as long as it goes forward, I'll be happy.
But let's get on to Ash. He's got a few here. And there we go.
Is it true that you don't sweat? You actually just bleed?
And that is true. No, that is actually true. Yeah, that's just fact. I save it all up. That's why I bleed so much. It's because it all just stores in my body, and then when I finally do cut myself, which is why I've cut myself so easily, it's all quite stored in there.
Gushes.
It just gushes out all over the place.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beamish. I forgot the name already. This is why she didn't want you doing freestyle when you were underage.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, there's a story of Callum. Callum is the reason mainly. Callum knocked himself out, and Mum spent most of A&E with Callum asking if he'd been mountainboarding. turning around for a second, and then just asking the same thing for probably about 5 hours. Just and it's a family thing of just, so I've been mountain boarding. And my mum just went, yes, Callum, you've been mountain boarding. And he'd turn around and he'd come back. So.
Love it.
Yeah, that could wear pretty thin quite quickly.
Yeah, I get it. I definitely got it.
Right, let's give Ash his second. There we go.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like construction?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I like construction?
Construction, yeah.
In any form, or are we just talking like?
It's your
building?
question. How do you want to interpret it? I mean, like, I'm assuming, you know, like I'm pretty cool with construction. I like concrete. I like steel. I like glass.
I mean, I'm not against any of it.
They all perform well in their roles, and especially when combined, I think construction is pretty cool.
Would you say you construct a mountain board? When you build a mountain board, are you constructing a mountain board?
Yeah.
Is that sort of construction.
Meccano.
Meccano, good bit of Meccano, bit of Lego. Quite like a bit of Lego. Yeah.
He is tapped in the head though, is our Ash.
Well, certainly. It's like now
I mean, I would say
now we've defined
construction
out of 10.
I mean, I'd give it a good 9. 9.
Good 9, yeah. It's a pretty positive piece to society.
I'm positive with construction. I think, yeah.
Liam, just what I've gone past because Liam also asked Papa Beamish this is, and why he doesn't know the answer to this, I don't know. What age did you start mountainboarding? Well, Liam, for the record, if you skip back to the start of this, you'll probably get the answer to that. But I'm kind of more interested. Was he set next to Callum?
I mean, it's quite possible. It's quite possible.
What age did you? When did you start mountainboarding?
Casper's been causing problems for the whole family. Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, he should probably know that because I think he'd probably been holding one of those old VCR cameras at the time.
What I liked about it is that you were quite posh at mountainboard comps because you actually took a caravan with you.
Oh yeah, Mum and Dad, but they already had the caravan.
How quick for you guys?
Oh no, we had to stum in the tents. We weren't allowed in the caravan.
You're not bringing them stinking pads in this.
Oh yeah, not a chance. We get fed through the door.
Brilliant. Just the way it should be. Just the way it should be.
Precisely. Keep the feral children outside.
So final question then coming in from Ash is this one. Oh, he says,
are you aware that there is a museum dedicated to you in the north?
I am aware, and it is a wonderful museum. And if you go in near it, definitely go and see it because it's a bit like this podcast, but just an entire museum. It's just me. And who would want that?
Sounds like Ash's spare bedroom, just some kind of weird shrine.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is.
He has actually sent me just so you know, he has sent me a pin if I care to visit the.
You should, definitely visit the Beamish Museum. It was made in ode to me, so you've got to go, really.
Oh, crikey!
Oh, I love that boy.
I like him, but I worry about him.
That's it from the community on their questions.
Good.
We're now an hour and a half into this, so we're moving into the final furlong.
Yeah.
No pun intended with the horse board.
Boom.
Very good, Dan.
But we still have Slogs' 10 set.
Oh, yes.
And he hasn't asked yet, so I'm going to ask it for him. What your current setup?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, hold on.
I
I fucked his 10 set up now.
No, you haven't fucked my 10 set. You're all right, man.
He's all right. He's got one on lock. He's got one prepared for spare.
He's just busy writing down a 10 set.
Yeah. After he forgot his last one.
No, I've got the 10 set all ready to go.
You want it this time? Well done. So I'm riding a Hero. It's the old model with the bulldog face. I ride with Matrix lights, the old ones with the plastic hangers. T3s with Rockstar Pros, and I've got the old Ground Industries Talon bindings.
Oh, nice. They were nice. They were.
Yeah, with SP heel straps.
They were comfy as fuck. They were.
Yeah. That's what I like them for. So they're a bit like the F5s now.
They've lasted well then.
Yeah, so I got them off Sam. I think Sam had them kicking about, and he was like, "I'm not going to use them." I was like, and I think I'd snapped a binding at Camp Festival. He was like, "Do you want these?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Stuck them on. I was like, "I'll keep them then."
Yeah,
you ain't having them back. Yeah, and then SPs on the heel straps. But I've just bought. So that was a medium flex, and I used to ride the Trampoline Pro, and then got the Hero after riding Mats, I think. But they didn't have the hard flex in the UK at the time. So I bought a medium thinking, it'll be all right. Turns out it's not the best when you bottom a board out because you're fat after COVID. There's a picture of me going over the step up next to Scott Lidbetter, and I've bottomed out my board just by landing, basically.
Oh.
So yeah, turned a bit fat over COVID. So I've just bought myself a hard flex of the new model. So big up Hero. They're wicked.
The Polish Dave model.
Yeah, Polish Dave. Yeah, looking
Nice.
forward to getting that. I've got a limited edition one. I was having a chat with Phil, and he sent me one with, I think it's the graphics the wrong way round.
Nice.
Yeah. So
have you got it to hand?
I haven't. I bought it a couple of weeks ago, so I think it's still in transit.
I was going to say.
Otherwise, I'd have it up.
The girlfriend's got it under lock and key. It's still.
Well, that one hasn't got any. It's got no trucks or anything. So at the moment, I'll be allowed that to look at for a little while. Maybe lick it.
Stroke it.
Oh, nice! I like a little reverse graphic. Was that like a factory second? Not a factory second, but do you know what I mean? Like an
ask about the base
to have been that one.
Yeah. So I'm cheap. I'll be honest. I'm a cheap ass. And it was during. So we were chatting before I smashed my wrist, and I was planning to get one of the old models in the hard flex, and they'd sold out, I think. And then I smashed my wrist that weekend, and sort of messaged him saying, "Oh yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy it. I'm not going to be able to work for a while. But I'll send you a message when I'm sort of back to work, see if you've got anything still available." And he'd run out, but he sent me a message back to saying, "Well, if you're struggling for money and you still want a board, then let me know, and I can send you one of these for a bit cheaper if they're a bit different or like there's something a bit wrong with them." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet, thank you very much." So he sent me that one over, and it was like reverse graphic. I was like, "Sweet, limited edition board."
Yeah, of that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? It's like you can understand why some people wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
But similarly,
to me, that's
and me also.
Yeah. That's why I said it. I thought you might like that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting that.
Phil, if you're listening, I would love to show a bit of love for the brand, if even the odd sticker or anything to.
I think they're busy boys by the sound of it.
Hey, well, they must be.
They seem to be.
They've got a whole horse board in 9,000 capacity stadiums worth of bloody riders to. Are they all rocking the new Hero deck on the horseboarding scene?
No, so the horseboarding hasn't quite got into the Hero. Everyone seems to ride Tramper. So Tramper is I think it's still a sponsor. They were quite a big sponsor at one point, and I was riding Tramper. And a lot of people were sort of on MBSs and they were cracking and stuff like that. So a lot of people ended up asking sort of what they should get. And at the time I was on a Tramper, and I was like, yeah, get one of them, because Hero wasn't about, I think, at the time. So yeah, everyone ended up
bomb-proof, aren't they?
Well, that's the thing, is they are proper solid. And with the thing with horseboarding is you are racing in all weathers, and it is like you get pulled through stuff that you physically shouldn't be able to go through. So having a bomb-proof board is quite something. So yeah, pretty much everybody in the elites either rides a Holy Pro or I think just like a short 17 ply. So I'm the first one out of horseboarding to use it, and actually last season it was immense. Having the control on the heel side edge with that concave was just something else.
Yeah, we'll have to get all the horseboarders on the foot pads on their trampers.
Yeah, so that I have suggested it to a couple of people actually. So I think you'll probably see a couple of people with them on it.
Yeah. Oh well, very nice to hear. Slogs, do you want to lead us in with your 10 set?
Yeah. Ready to go?
Go on then.
Reg or goof?
Reg.
Park or free ride?
Park.
Horseboarding or mountain boarding?
Oh, I'm riding a mountain board either way.
Bastard.
I'm pulling out on this one. I'm riding a mountain board both times, so I'm just going to say mountain board. That's all I'm going to say.
See, we pull people up for saying who are keen electric boarders, but mountain board as well. And we've thrown that question at them as well. All right, I'll let you off.
You let me off. I mean, they're so different. So I love mountain boarding, being in the air. That's my biggest thing. I like floating on a big old jump and just getting as much airtime as possible. So they're so other ends for me, really. Like, because the racing is so different to the jumps. So I honestly don't think I could compare them, really.
Another thing with the racing, are you still racing 2-man races, or was it timed races now?
No, so it's timed now. So it's a case of like
it's a solo run.
Quickest run around the course. If you hit a post, it's 2 seconds. If you miss a post, it's 10-second penalty.
And how long's the course?
They're generally around 30 seconds, but you're going between 25 to 30 miles an hour. So it's like they worked it was like 2 posts every 2 seconds or something at some points on the track. But we're to hundreds of seconds at the same times. So that's what I find interesting. Like, it's quick.
Yeah. It's tight as well. Formula One tight.
Yeah. And you watch the horse riders banking like motorbikes, like in GP. It's wicked. But
I'll be googling it. Well, I'll be YouTubing it when I get.
I'll send you some stuff. I'll send you some pictures and videos, cool stuff. Yeah.
Right, park or free ride?
Park. I love a good free ride, but for me, it's park.
Board across or freestyle?
Freestyle.
That's not always been. Only St. Angela's giving you the green light.
Yeah. Well, I like tracks, and I love riding board across tracks, and I think last year I kind of removed it a little bit. I've never liked racing board across with other people because I always get taken out. Like, that's how I broke my nose. Got like taken out to grass on the triple roller, and as I got taken out, the board cracked me in the face.
Rah.
Yeah. So there was a guy on a nose snow. Pardon?
Do you want to name and shame that rider?
I don't know who it was. I've never known who it was. I'm pretty sure.
I know who it was. It was Sonny Diven.
I mean, from what I've heard about him at EVIT competitions, I would not be surprised.
I think cheat.
I am not joining that game right now. It was some Scottish. I think he was Scottish. He was riding in a blue top on a no snow, and there's a picture of it.
Martin James. It's Scotland's most wanted gangster.
Okay, it's not Martin James. It's dead. I know Martin James.
Was it a no snow truck to the face as well?
Yeah. Broke my nose, got back up, rode down to the bottom of the hill, still beat him, and then walked up to my dad and said, I think I broke my nose. And he pulled me to the paramedic. The paramedic was like, yeah, you've broken your nose. And I was like, can I race? And he was like, no, not like that. I think he just pushed it. He was like, now you can. Just stood back up. But I think he took me out twice at the same point on the race, weirdly, because he took me out and there's a picture of me flying through the air, and then he took me out again and broke my nose. So yeah, he did it twice. I'll show you. I'll send you the picture.
Yeah, we definitely want that picture.
It's great because you've got Joel Treliving in the background, like It's one of my favourite photos. Sorry, back to 10 set.
Oh no, that's a good thing about the 10 set. It opens up other
Yeah.
stories. Flip or spin?
Flip. You'll say flip.
As long as you tuck.
As long as you tuck, you got to make sure you tuck. Yeah,
Always tuck.
Usually there's 2 rules to flipping. It's jump, then flip. But for me, I've got 3. It's jump, flip, tuck.
Jump, flick, tuck.
I'll take that on board.
And then on landing, do you get hands?
Best border cross track you've ever ridden?
Do you know what? I'm going to say Hales. I've always really enjoyed Hales border cross. I've always wished it was longer, but I think it, for me, it's always been the funnest border cross.
The big drop there is...
Yeah. I love that.
That's
Macking around that corner.
That's a special feature, that one, isn't it?
I'm a big fan of that border cross. I've had some of my best racing memories on that. Had a good one. Court Farm was always a good one, like proper close with people on corners. Actually, in fact, Andy Dumlow, shout out to Andy Dumlow. I don't know whether there's a picture of it, but I very much vividly remember pulling around the Court Farm, I think a 3rd berm. As I leant back, Andy just grabbed my hips and said, "I'm behind you." And we rode the corner with him holding my hips the whole way around and then just attached.
It's a 3rd berm, isn't it, Dan?
I think it was a 3rd berm.
Definitely the 3rd berm.
Yeah. But yeah, so that Court Farm, I'd say, is a close second. I really enjoyed Court Farm, but yeah, definitely Hales, I think, for first funnest border cross.
Favourite trick? Now, we'll split this one in 2. Favourite trick you like to do and favourite trick you like to watch other people do?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, favourite trick I like to do is probably a backflip nose grab, because not a lot of people do them. Because most people tend to grab the back of the board in a backflip. And then favourite trick to watch is probably a really floaty cork 5. Like a really big floaty cork 5 is probably the nicest thing. I would say my favourite trick to watch.
It's funny, everybody, all the freestylers seem to want to progress their tricks to, bigger spins, more off-axis spins, that. But whenever you put this sort of question to them, everybody says the same thing: is a slow rotation styled spin, or a stylish slow, low figure 1 rotation, or half will always look more visually pleasing than.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the something to do with possibly the calmness. Like if you've ever watched, and most people have, Tom Kirkman, there's just there's no extra energy used. Like every movement is exactly where it needs to be to just put them in the perfect position in the air, just like almost as if they're floating. Like when you get that sort of slower rotation on something like that, there's sort of a floating element to it.
Yeah,
I find
it's when they make it look easy.
Yeah.
And the last 90 degrees of rotation just comes around.
Yeah.
The ground,
as if it'd been planned and it wasn't really hard to do. Yeah.
Right. This is an interesting one for you, seeing as you spent a lot of time at a lot of different centres. You've spread your wings centre-wise. Like
I know the question that's coming.
Quite a few different locals, haven't you? So, what is your favourite centre, past or present?
It's genuinely a really hard question, because I've spent a lot of time at a lot of centres, but I think it's got to be Knockhill. It's got to be Knockhill. Knockhill was like my safe space. Like I used to go there when it was all shit, like a bad time at school or whatever. I'd go to Knockhill and there'd just be Roger there being like, "Gonna do a flip, gonna stop being a dickhead, gonna stop being a knob, come on, off your pop, get on your board."
Yeah.
Like, and he'd always be there just wanting people to ride, like the nicest bloke, and like the most time for anybody who asked it. Just spent months living on that hill, just pruning it, looking after it for any time anybody turned up, and it'd just be there. Yeah, I'd say not kill for that. Just like, and it was so different, just so different.
Yeah, big up Roger and Kim.
Massive big up Rog and the fam.
I do like that answer, and it's a great centre. It was always just.
He's someone you've got to get on here at some point.
Well,
if you can get him on
here, we've been in discussions for months.
Good. Come on. He's been moving house and stuff. I know he's been a bit hectic.
Yeah, he's got a new job as well.
Yeah. It's been up in the air a little bit.
He will come on eventually.
I look forward to that. I really do.
Even if me and Dan have got a good drive to his house.
In your van. Take him in your van.
Yeah. Put him in the back of the van.
The best thing from Not Kill, I think, was always the fact if it's got wheels, we're going to jump it. That's pretty much what Roger said. There's always that if it's got wheels, we'll jump it. The amount of videos of just the most ridiculous things being thrown at a wooden kicker.
Right, last question. Favorite rider?
Now, this is a question that has been stuck in my head from watching these. And I really struggle with this because you changed it as well, didn't you? You had favourite rider and then you had rider who most made you stoked. And I've spent a long time thinking about this. I know I'm not supposed to think about it, but it has been there. Favourite rider to watch is Tom Kirkman, hands down. And once you see the photo of him doing that cork 5 in that sunset, you'll see what the image in my head is of that. And it's just, I've never seen anybody ride quite like that. But then Stoke, it's got to be, for me, there's James Wanklin, Roger, and Johnny Tom. Like, those three boys, you get on a board with them and they're just happy just to fucking ride. Like, they just got that, like, just pumped to be riding full stop. And they'd always be nice and just, yeah, those three boys I couldn't split. For just pump on a board and get you wanting to race and ride.
Good lads.
Yeah, good. All three of them, lovely blokes.
Couldn't split them.
Riders.
Yeah.
And always a smile on their faces.
Always. That's what I mean. And that's why I couldn't split them up, because they're just, all three of them are just dudes on a board. They just love to ride. So big up you boys.
There's your 10 set, man.
Nice.
And we'll leave the last words to you, I think. Anything you've got to say that hasn't been said already?
I mean, I probably waffled on, so apologies to everybody. Oh, actually, saying of apologies, I was watching Eamon's a little while ago, and there's always an apology I've wanted to make to him. I took him out at Camp Festival on a run that was being filmed, and I always felt bad for it, but I never got to apologise. So, Aiden, sorry for taking you out at Camp Festival.
He'll like that.
Yeah. Really I've always thought about that.
It'd be wasted on someone like Sonny, but
I wouldn't give a fuck if it was Sonny. Like, it's different, isn't it?
Eamon is the nicest man in mountainboarding, whereas Sonny's the biggest prick in mountainboarding.
Well, I don't know if you could put big and prick with Sonny, really, could you?
You know what? I don't know whether they do, but I'd love it if you know. Once a week, maybe the boys up there, they at Trempetal, they put it on in the afternoon in the workshop, and then they hear us all calling them out, calling everybody out and calling them prick.
So when I come back, I'm coming for Sonny. But this is the problem. Sonny said he's not going to race seniors again, and I can't go into masters yet. So I think actually, Dan, you need to come back to pros.
I was in pros last year.
Yeah,
he didn't race. He went to seniors.
Masters. Yeah, so that's what I mean. You said about having a race with him at Masters. I'll just join you all up in pros again.
Yeah, well, I said to him about this actually. Fuck it.
He's too scared of the pros.
He don't even want to race now. He said he might not even race at all this year.
That's what it is. He beat me once and he won't race. He knows what's coming.
He's some fucking plastic gangster. Fucking melts, mate. You melt.
Oh, I love you,
Anyone
Sonny.
else you want to say hello to or insult?
I mean, hello to all the horseboarders and mountain boarders alike. I love you all. Just stay boarding. Whatever you're boarding, do it and stick on it. That's about it, really.
Oh, awesome. Look, thank you on behalf
thank
of
you
the
for
community.
having me.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and chatting,
been
about
great
mountain
fun.
boarding and horse boarding, because like I say, it's all mountain boarding to us. And whether you're into it or not, I think it's a very fucking interesting thing we talk about for a couple of
months. When's the next horseboarding?
That's it, Burley, and I think that's in like a month.
Is there any come down this far down the country?
The furthest they usually do is Hampshire, and I'm not sure that's happening this year. There's Bowood, which is like Bristol way. Where actually are you? I don't know. I know you.
I'm based in Plymouth at the moment.
Oh yeah, I don't really know. Because you've got this Cheshire, Sandringham, Bowood. So Bowood is Swindon way. I think that's probably the furthest south they've got this year. Yeah.
Well, if you're interested in horseboarding, check it out.
Send me a message.
Yeah, send Aiden a message.
Ping me a message.
That's it.
Yeah,
I've got a question about horseboarding.
Go on. One more. Go on.
Have you ever been dragged through horse shit and it all fucking whipped up in your face?
Have you ever been shat on by a horse?
The worst thing is I'm going to have to say yes as well.
Because that just comes to head because I fucking
it doesn't happen a lot, but for some reason my horse, when she gets really excited because it's going to be like a big run, will have a shit just before as you're going out, and you know it's going to be a quick one because I'll just have shit on my leg.
All right. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. I've really enjoyed this evening. Thank you very much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Dirt. See you next episode.
Way aye, man. That was dead canny as out, that like. Cheers for tuning out to listen. Now, before you gan yem, don't forget, if you want to keep getting doing with the Dirty Dirt fun, like and subscribe. Get amongst it. Shy Ben's getting out.